Good morning. We'll start with stanza 13 of the poem Elegy Written in a Country Churchyard. But knowledge to their eyes her ample page, rich with the spoils of time, did never unroll. Chill penury repressed their noble rage and froze the genial current of the soul. Here we can see another personification in the first line, knowledge. That is, knowledge, it is the subject of this sentence. The sentence structure is, we have to untangle the sentence first. Let's see if we rearrange the sentence so that it's not more like a usual structure. Here's what it would look like. Knowledge never did unroll her ample page, rich with the spoils of time to their eyes. Therefore, knowledge, the word knowledge is personified here. But there's a metaphor that needs more focus. It's as though knowledge is a big collection of pages, and as time goes on, those pages get filled with more and more information. That is what the speaker calls the spoils of time. Spoils here means plunder or loot. But these poor villagers in the graveyard never had access to all the knowledge history had to offer to those pages. So those pages were never unrolled to their eyes, means they never came before their eyes. They were not able to read those pages that the history had to offer them. And what is the reason behind that? Because penury is poverty. Because poverty held them back or held back the noble parts of their characters, their passion, even their rage. More personification, penury is also being treated like a person. It's the thing that repressed and froze the dead people's potential. And we can see another metaphor. If we imagine that a person's soul is like a river, then poverty can freeze up the current of your soul river. Means the poverty is also personified, which freezes the free flow of the soul of river. Full many a gem of purest ray serene, the dark unfathomed caves of ocean bare. Full many a flower is born to blush unseen, and waste its sweetness on the desert air. Full many is like it seems to be an 18th century phrase that means lots of. So lots of beautiful pure gems are hidden away in the dark caves under the ocean, and lots of flowers come into blushing bloom or bloom without a human to see and appreciate their beauty or their sweet scent. Means they bloom somewhere where no human passes and is able to appreciate their beauty or their sweet scent. So this stanza is about the unsung heroes, the people who are the village folk who are buried in the churchyard without monuments or trophies, and both the gems and the flowers are metaphors for people who do awesome stuff that doesn't get recognized, or who have done, maybe during their lifetime they must have done or may have done something, but that never got recognition. These lines mean that these people were like unsung heroes because their work, their good stuff could never be recognized. No one took notice of their good words, like the gems and flowers which are hidden in the ocean bed or somewhere in the wild where nobody is there to appreciate their beauty and smell. Some village Hampden, that with dauntless breast the little tyrant of his fields withstood. Some mute inglorious Milton here may rest, some Cromwell guiltless of his country's blood. The poet or the speaker here muses or thinks that there might be among these dead or buried people who could have been famous revolutionaries or poets, but they died unknown and undiscovered. Maybe there was some village version of John Hampden who had stood up to the tyranny on their village, and the real John Hampden was a Puritan politician who opposed the policies of King Charles the First. He had refused to pay tax he thought was unfair. So Gray calls him dauntless or fearless for standing up against the king. Or maybe there was someone as brilliant as John Milton who had written a great epic poem like Paradise Lost, but he died mute without being able to express his brilliance. Or maybe there was someone who could or who would have wreaked as much havoc as Cromwell, who didn't have a chance. This is also a historical note. Oliver Cromwell was the leader of anti-royalists during the English Civil War, who helped bring about the execution of King Charles I and became head of the short-lived English Commonwealth in 1649 to 1660. He wasn't a popular person in the history books at the time when Gray was writing.